Okay, so I saved you the boring part. I took my, it's kind of like a microplane grinder. It's kind of a file. This is made by Microplane, and I finely ground my garlic and my ginger. This is zeroed out. The amount of garlic I'm going to put in is 9/10. Apparently it's right there on the verge. It actually only reading 0.8. I'm going to zero that out. This also was measuring 0.8. That's what I think is, it calls for 4 teaspoons of ginger. Also 0.8. I like the fact that the garlic and the ginger are the same weight. Okay, therefore my hypothesis is that it'll have the same. It'll be balanced in the recipe. That's it for the ingredients. Zero that out. With the container, this whole thing now reads 5 pounds, 15.2 ounces, almost 6 pounds. One other thing just to note is this is the second time I've made this recipe, and I'm short tahini for next time I make it. There's not enough here to do it a third time. So basically I get two batches out of this. This is making a huge amount of cold sesame noodle sauce. This will keep beautifully in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks. When you look at the ingredients of the dry sherry, the vinegar, the tahini, the peanut butter, the honey, and the pure sesame oil, all those things are stable at room temperature. The soy sauce, which is actually a fermented product, bottles say they should be refrigerated, and the garlic and the ginger obviously are perishable, but with the amount of alcohol and acid in here, I would venture to say that this will probably be safe at room temperature, but I keep it in the refrigerator. Onto the blender. This is a osterizer, and with any good blender, make sure you keep your hand on top of it. What I like about this old model is that I can vary the speed from a stir all the way up to liquefied, and it has 8 settings. On a cavitate. picture of what it looks like and the consistency. That's what it looks like. I'll just mix it up again so you get an idea. I'm starting off on what they call the second slowest setting, which is called puree. I don't think there's any specific. It barely won't even move the liquid. This is what they call whip. This is great. And you can see that it cavitated. Cavitated just means that the blade turns so fast that it separates the air out of the liquid. You have that on speedboats. Let's get a clean spoon. That's I like it thicker personally, but this will thicken up after it sits in the refrigerator for a day or two. The reason why I like it thick is I want the sauce to sit as much as possible on top of the noodles until I decide to mix it in. I do cook, okay, so when I mix the, and I'll use just regular spaghetti. The only thing that you need not to do is put salt in the water. Okay, there's enough salt in this. And after the spaghetti has been cooked for, and definitely on the al dente side, you want to run it through cold water and stop the cooking and dry the spaghetti thoroughly by putting it in a colander and then putting it into a towel and try to get out as much as the water. Then mix in 1 or 2 teaspoons or tablespoons of the sesame oil so things are well coated. You pour the dressing on and then you dress this or garnish the final dish with juliennes of carrot or juliennes of cucumber. You could put black sesames or white sesames, or I've never tried putting peanuts on this, but that might add another interesting dimension as people eat it. It'll definitely help on the presentation. Well, this is what I'm waiting for, is the taste. This is very good. Takes a few minutes for all the flavors to touch all the buttons there in your mouth. And gonna have a little bit more. A friend of mine is a professional chef, and his response was this is a killer recipe. The recipe is not my own. I did scale it up and add some, change some of the ingredients and splitting the soys. But basically it's the technique I'm showing you how I do this. This is a fairly easy thing to do, no cooking involved, and it's a sensational dish, so enjoy.